Hi everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at XRP, helping you understand best practice, big picture, the whole 9 yards there, and obviously taking a look at some of the newer data and helping understand roughly where it might go. All right, so again, technical analysis is all about taking previous history and patterns and essentially understanding where things might go next based on its history. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and identify a small handful of things here today and just kind of go from there. So if you are new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people how to trade. So I hope you can learn something here today. Truly help help me help you, if you will. So again, cryptocash.tech is a website. Link in the description below. I actually offer trading signals, an academy, and a community where we all learn and grow together. It's a fantastic experience. Just recently, yesterday, we took 108% profit on Ethereum and Bitcoin 68% profit, and that took us about 9.5 hours to get there. So again, patience pays off. It absolutely does, and I hope that you can develop some sort of patience over your trading experience, because I can tell you it's probably one of the best things you could use in trading. I personally have been trading for 17 years. I wasn't the most patient person when I started. Now I am almost overly patient. So again, that's just the way it goes. Do what you can and work within your means, of course. Very last thing too, King's Cup Global Invitation. Only got about 5 days left to register for this, so use the link in the description below to register with my link, and then go to KCGI 2022 across the top there when you're signed in, and you can go ahead and register. Just search for Crypto Cash and you'll be able to find it, because I got a team of 12 members so far, and that list is growing. The more the better, right? So make sure you check that out and register for that in your own time. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look here at XRP. Big picture here, we can see somewhat of a resistance level that's tentatively broken right around 39 cents. And if you see this little, basically the actual, this trend line that I drew across here, basically a support and resistance level, you can see that it's very, very close to that level. It's right there at about 38.7. So if you round up, you could just say 39 cents is that point of resistance, what we've tentatively broken above. I say tentatively because, of course, today's candlestick hasn't closed yet. You got to recognize that. So with us being kind of a little early, a little premature, so to speak, in this regard, it's important to recognize that we want the candlestick to close above that level first before you take action. I get the question a lot as to why that is the case, but it basically just implies that there's a full 24-hour period holding the price action in that area or above that area, and that gives you more confirmation. Because again, if the 1 minute closes above that level, that doesn't mean much, right? It was just tentatively there. But if you spend a full day in that range, that's important. Okay, that's why we try to look for. So that being said, that's kind of where we're at there. We're under 50 on the RSI, potential resistance coming up here right around 41.5 cents. We've got a convergence here on the MACD forming. So you can see this massive reduction in volume to the downside, essentially shifting that momentum to the bullish side of things. Now again, it doesn't mean we're just going to break bullish and take off, but it does imply that we're in pretty good shape and the likelihood of that is higher. Okay, so again, that's all trading is, or technical analysis more specifically. It's just a series of trying to figure out what's going to happen next by eliminating specific things and just kind of increasing your odds. It's statistical probability at its best. That's basically what it is. So if we take a look here, though, we can see the 200-day sub-moving average did work as a support level previously, and now it's going to potentially work as a resistance. So keep in mind, we could see a strong rejection at 40 cents based on that sentiment there, because a 200-day SMA is always a very strong support and resistance level. So I'm looking for a closure above the 200-day SMA personally before I consider taking entry in this coin, just based on the fact that that's probably a likely rejection point initially at first. Taking a look at the 4-hour, we can see a similar scenario here where the 200 is trailing above, but the 50 and the 20 is below. So that's a positive sign in a sense. Not the strongest indicators there, so to speak, but it is still helpful. You can see we're up over 50 on the RSI, which is great. So it kind of implies that right here at about 37 cents is a strongish support level because the fact that the price were to come back down and make a higher low, the likelihood of it bouncing off that point is fairly high. Okay, again, just based on RSI at 50 being a potential support level. We can see the convergence here as well, still continuing, but it is a bit on the overextended side. And if we take a look at the TD sequential, we can see we're at a 9 here now. So I would recommend considering just being patient and waiting for this to pull back first, and then maybe adding to your position on the way up when it bounces off of 37 and or 36 cents. Okay, so once again, if we get a closure today above this level at 39, and the price goes sideways, we get a little reset here for a few candles, then at that point, I think it would be worthwhile to invest. But we don't have confirmation there yet. We are overextended. And if you see here what happened previously, we had an 8 on TD sequential, came all the way down to a 9 plus extreme overtime. So XRP took a pretty strong hit here recently after trying to rally back after the initial massive decrease from Bitcoin and, of course, the whole FTX issue that we saw last week. So again, this is the residual of what happens. Right now, Bitcoin is range bound in a very similar range, you could say. But XRP does appear to be a little bit stronger. Okay, so again, you compare this with Bitcoin, it's definitely looking a little bit better, but there's no doubt it's overextended. And keep in mind, Bitcoin is roughly halfway through this type of extension. I think we're at like a 4 on TD sequential in the 4 hour, and really we have more potential for further upside, but we're at a resistance area to a 17.6 for Bitcoin. Okay, so again, handful of things to kind of think about, but generally speaking, the 4 hour is overextended, but we're above some key level supports. We just need to kind of get that to hold in order to be able to continue further. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at here for XRP on the 4 hour. The 1 hour, we can kind of obviously see and identify that we're overextended too. You take a look at this. We hit an 8 here, got a small little reset, jumped up to a 6, a little reset up to another 6, reset and again to a 5. So in essence, we're not quote unquote overextended, but we still are if you look at all this, just all this growth here in the most recent time frame. I mean, in this very short amount of time, XRP is up about 25%. So, what goes up must come down. You got to recognize that. While we're not at 3 white soldiers just yet on the daily, we'll get there soon. Okay, so bear in mind, if today is strong and tomorrow is strong, we should have a 4th red day to follow. But generally speaking, at this point, it's important to recognize that 39 cents is going to be the point of contention. So to me, a closure above 39 cents and then to be able to kind of consolidate, get a reset in TD sequential in the 4 hour would make the most sense for me to take a long at that point. But between now and then, it does look like it wants to continue to run for at least a couple more hours. So we could see about 4 more hours of continuation until we get a rejection. And then, of course, once again, 40 cents is that resistance level based on the moving averages that we have on the daily time frame. So I would think that we're going to see a rejection fairly soon. If we do, what we're hoping for is a closure above 39 cents for at least another day or two, and then we can go ahead and consider taking a long position. But to me right now, this just screams overextension, and I wouldn't want to jump in now. It's kind of like a fear of missing out situation. Don't FOMO in, be patient and wait, and we'll see what happens. We have green lights on all considerations for a long position though, so keep that in mind. If you have a long open, don't necessarily close it. Maybe consider taking some profits if you are in a position where you're profitable, but I would recommend, of course, just waiting and being patient and see what happens next. So again, looking for a closure above 40 cents, preferably, but I think more likely 39 is realistic. Closure between 39 and 40 is perfectly fine. We just need to consolidate a little bit more before we leg up because we're overextended so far. All right, that's roughly where we're at. Clear as mud, right? As they like to say. So hopefully that clarified some things for you and gave you a little bit more perspective. Good luck if you're trading. Again, be cautious and careful, and be sure to use my Trading Academy if you're currently a community member to kind of brush up on some important things there, because of course it's relevant and important to take profits when you can, but also to have a good state of mind when you trade, and never trade while you're upset. Okay, so again, a lot of things going on in that regard. I hope that you can learn from this or learn from many other videos as well. Thanks again so much for joining me here. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care now.